I've always been drawn to the mysteries of the supernatural. As a paranormal investigator, I sought the most obscure and terrifying places. One such place was Hollow Marsh, a notorious swamp deep in the heart of the southern bayou. Local legends spoke of the restless spirits that roamed the marsh at night, and it was said that anyone who ventured in would never return. Against all warnings, I decided to investigate Hollow Marsh myself. Armed with my equipment and a mix of excitement and trepidation, I set out on a moonless night. The darkness was suffocating, and the marsh seemed to inhale every bit of light around it. The air was heavy with humidity and the stench of decaying vegetation. The only sound was the chorus of frogs and the occasional splash of unseen creatures slipping back into the murky water. I followed a narrow, winding path that seemed to materialize before me, as if beckoning me deeper into the heart of darkness. The marsh seemed to have a mind of its own, guiding me away from solid ground and into the deepest, most treacherous areas. Yet my curiosity refused to relent. I pressed on, driven by the insatiable hunger to discover the truth. As the night wore on, I began to feel a chilling presence creeping around me. Shadows seemed to dance in the corner of my vision, and every rustle of leaves sent shivers down my spine. I couldn't help but wonder if the legends were true, if this place was truly cursed. Suddenly, a haunting melody echoed through the swamp. The sound was both ethereal and mournful, like a siren song calling me toward my doom. I hesitated but found myself irresistibly drawn to the source. Through the dense fog, I saw a figure standing on a small mound of dry land. The figure was cloaked in tattered, moss-covered garments, and its face was obscured by darkness. The melody intensified, emanating from the figure like a ghastly aura. I approached cautiously, my heart pounding in my chest. As I drew nearer, the figure turned its head to face me, and I gasped in horror. Its eyes were hollow, void of any life, and its face bore the markings of a terrible fate. It was a spirit, a ghostly remnant of someone long gone. Fear clutched at my throat, but I couldn't bring myself to flee. The ghostly figure beckoned me closer, and I couldn't resist. Each step I took felt like walking through quicksand, the marsh attempting to hold me back. The spirit's voice echoed inside my mind, urging me to listen, to understand the tragedy that had befallen it. It spoke of betrayal, of a life cut short by greed and treachery. As the tale unfolded, I could feel its pain, its anger, and its longing for justice. In the distance, I heard the faint sound of voices, the laughter of people enjoying their lives. It was then that I realized the spirit's tale was not unique. Countless souls haunted the marsh, all trapped in their torment, seeking solace and revenge. The spirit's mournful melody changed, becoming discordant and threatening. It warned me to leave, to escape the marsh before it was too late. But I couldn't leave. The weight of their anguish bore down on me, and I knew I had to help them find peace. I continued my journey, guided by the spirit's sorrowful cries. The marsh seemed to stretch on forever, and I felt like a tiny speck in a vast, malevolent void. The once intriguing adventure had become a nightmarish descent into madness. Suddenly, the path before me disappeared, and I found myself sinking into the swamp's icy embrace. Panic consumed me as I struggled to break free, but the mud clung to me like a vengeful specter, pulling me deeper into its murky depths. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, a warm light enveloped me. The spirit's melodies melded into a harmonious chorus, filling me with a strange sense of calm. Above me, ethereal figures appeared, reaching out with spectral hands to pull me from the grasp of the swamp. Their touch was both icy and comforting, and I felt as though they were drawing out the darkness that had enveloped me. I emerged from the marsh, gasping for breath, as the spirits guided me back to solid ground. With tears in their hollow eyes, the spirits thanked me for listening, for acknowledging their pain. They had been trapped in the swamp for centuries, forgotten by the world above. But now, with my help, they had a chance at redemption. As the first light of dawn broke through the horizon, the spirits began to dissipate, their anguished cries fading into the morning mist. I watched in awe as they ascended to the heavens, finally finding peace after their long torment. I left Hollow Marsh with a heavy heart, forever changed by the experience. The line between the living and the dead had blurred that night, and I had glimpsed the true horror of the swamp. It wasn't the restless spirits that haunted Hollow Marsh. It was the darkness within the human heart, the capacity for greed and betrayal that kept them bound to the earth. From that day on, I vowed to continue my work as a paranormal investigator, not just to seek out the supernatural, but to understand the human stories behind the hauntings. For the true horror lies not in the ghosts that roam the world, but in the choices we make while we are still alive. And the marsh, with its eerie songs and chilling embrace, will forever be a reminder of the darkness that resides within us all.